Yeah, so my name's Andrew Kitson. I'm with Solar Corp. We've been operating since about 2014, and our core focus is taking the solar industry into something that is best for the customer. Because traditionally, people have been operating in string inverter systems, and we looked at that and thought, that's great. So people are getting into solar, which is so important, but we want them to give them a system that is going to be more beneficial for them than just a string inverter system. So that's where we where we started from, and we've done a lot of research about how to pair up respective components to make the most efficient system for the New Zealand market. It's a house, it's great, love a house, but have you ever thought about how much it costs to operate on that weekly, monthly basis? And if you can get a house that is cheap to operate, especially as you go into your retirement years, that if we can help you get to that point where saying, actually, I've got this house, I've invested in it, and I don't pay anything per month, you're onto a winner. If you look at where New Zealand industry started, it's probably late 80s, very few people were into solar, but it's all been string inverter, and a string inverter is basically one single inverter that sits inside the house. And what you've got, let's say you've got 10 panels on the roof, all of those panels are generating in DC electricity. They go into the single inverter inside the house, turns into AC electricity, then it's usable by the house. Now, we looked at that and thought, actually, that's fine, it's great, people are getting into solar, but how can we do that better? So we have what's called microinverters. And those microinverters, basically, instead of having a big thing sitting inside the house, and potentially a bit of noise going with that, but what we do is we put these inverters in behind every second panel on the roof. And that turns the DC electricity into AC on the roof. So instead of having, for example, 1,000 volts DC on the roof, you've got 230 volts AC on the roof, usable by the house straight away. So that's where we stemmed as a company, where we started from as a company. And by pairing that up with items, and we've evolved over the years, and it's quite exciting, some of the products we've evolved into. Not only have we got the architectural range of products, so we call that the SC400 series, Platinum series. So that's all black panels. Those inverters, the DS3L. So basically what those inverters do is they talk individually to the monitor on the house. What that means is that we control each panel individually. Now, going back to the string inverter system, if something happens to one of those panels, it happens to all of them. So if one of those panels goes down to 50%, the whole system is down to 50%. And that's where, in our system, if one of them goes down to 50%, it's only one. The rest of the system still stays at the 100% optimal output. One of the other really cool features there is that, and something people don't realize, is that, so I'm loving solar, I want more. Well, with a string inverter system, actually that inverter's already maxed out. So you actually have to get a whole new system in. With what we've got, is that I want more solar. Cool. What we're going to do is we're going to plug them in. They daisy chain together. So that the expandability of microinverters is huge. So like I say, we have a monitor that sits inside the house, and that gives people the view of every panel and what each panel is generating, which is fantastic. But one of the downside historically to microinverters, because it's been always AC based, is that pairing them up with batteries has been quite hard, because a lot of people want batteries. When they find out the cost of batteries, then they say, well, actually, maybe we can hold off. In fact, most of the time I recommend people do hold off on batteries, and so let's make sure you've got a system that is adaptable and flexible enough to add batteries to later on. So that's all what our system does. But where it's really exciting for us right here, right now, and it's only just happened in May, is that the brains that sit in behind the batteries to the AP system that we've got, AP microinverter system, those brains allow that customer to generate electricity when the grid goes down. Now, this is one of the real interesting things that people don't realize. Great, I got solar, I'm fine. The power will go out, I can still generate. Well, actually you can't, because when it's grid tied, you can't be putting power back up the grid. So we haven't got enough linesmen to be electrocuted apparently. So what we've got with this new system is that, I believe we're probably one of the only systems around that can do it, is that we can still generate electricity. So not only pulling power from the battery, but pulling power from the panels as well. And to me, that's so exciting. So when the power goes out, guess what? You're going to carry on generating electricity. You're going to have that self-reliance that you've always been looking for. And in the ever-changing climate, this environment is like having that self-reliance is huge. And to be honest, it excites the hell out of us and what we can offer our customers. And so that's a bit about SolarCorp. It's so exciting for us. But, and I shouldn't say it's just exciting for us, it's actually exciting for our customers. Because the way I look at this is that our job is to get people into solar. Why? Because it's a no-brainer. When you look at the financial returns on solar, and let's say you're looking for around 11 to 12% returns. Well, guess what? Banks are offering 1% loans at the moment. So, okay, you're no longer at 11, 12%, you're actually at 10 or 11%. But where else do you get a return of 10 or 11% on your money? And it just becomes a no-brainer getting into solar. So our job is to educate people about solar. And if they go with us, bonus. If they don't, hey, we've actually done our job, because we want people to get into solar. But to be quite frank, one of the things I love about our company is the people involved with it. They just love helping people, and they just love being there to support people on their journey. And that's, philosophically, that's what we're about as a company as well. Probably isn't the younger people so much. It's probably more the 30 to 50s. But, going back to what I said about before, is that some people are moving into their forever homes. And those are the people who want to say, right, let's invest in our future and let's make sure our operational costs are sorted. And that's what, imagine going into a home and you go, the ambience of the house is just, it captures you, because it's the warmth that's coming out from the concrete, the silence around the house, and to know that that's all free every day. If only I could redo my house, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. In some ways, I guess historically it's been probably, it's been more of a 50-50. Yes, you do have some challenges about retrofitting things onto houses, and that probably comes down to the type of roof it's got, getting the wiring through to the switchboard, making sure that switchboard is up to date. But we're seeing a lot more new houses putting solar in, and one of the really exciting things for us is, as people have got to find out about what we offer, our unique package with the microinverters, they've said, actually, we want you. So a great example for us right now is there's a development happening out in Rolleston. It's a subdivision by Kevlar, done by Hello Green. And that whole subdivision, Kevlar are building all of the houses, high-spec places. There's going to be 260 houses, all of them are having our solar. And to me, that's saying, actually, yes, we understand the value of your package, your product, and we want you. So that's kind of skewing that 50-50 thing with very quickly, but for us to see new houses getting solar, hey, it should be a no-brainer, and to be contributing that to the community, that's a great thing for us. Well, actually, one of the things that, and I kind of touched on it before, is that there was one of the super homes we went to see out at Prewarton. As soon as you walked in there, you could see the Japanese architectural feel come through. And having lived in Japan quite a bit myself and been a landscape architect by trade, I could see this happening. And when you got into that house, you thought, there's something different about it. What is it? But it was an ease, and it was and to know that having a house like that, having super homes pushing this movement, and rightfully so, for people to say, actually, we can have that. For us to be a part of that is that's just a wonderful thing. Yeah, I mean, if you look, it's actually quite interesting. Sometimes you go to home shows and people ask you how much it is, and I say, actually, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you tell me how much you think it is. And the reason I do that is I want to calibrate myself to what people are thinking, so I can support them better. And a lot of the people, for a 5 kilowatt system, like, you're probably looking 15, 20,000. I say, look, I understand why you're saying that, but it's not. It's nowhere near that. It's probably more around 10 to 12,000. But if you look proportionally to the cost of houses, it's maybe 1%. But how much of a return does it give you? Wow. It is, yeah. I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about our system is that because it's really expandable, you can start off with a very small system, and then actually, as you're making those savings, I'm going to add more to it. Most people actually get the larger system straight off because they can see the benefits it's going to give them straight away. But it's one of again, just encouraging people into the market because we know the benefits it's going to offer them. Then it's up to them. And we carry on, we as a company talk about the Solar Corp family. So once you've aligned with us, you come through and talk to us all the time. And one of the cool things I get, and always hand this off to the staff, is that people come through with their power bills and say, oh, this is how much we've saved this month. And the gratitude that we receive from that and give it to the staff, that's what spins their wheels. Yeah, we pay them as well, which is kind of cool, but that's what spins their wheels, so yeah. Probably what I would say is that, and I mentioned it before, I've lived in Japan, and when you come back, when you've lived overseas, and I've been, as a young boy, lived quite a lot of my life overseas, you come back to New Zealand and you realise what you've got. And it's, every time I flew into Christchurch, coming through, seeing the blue skies, wow, this is just awesome. And it just spun my wheels every time as a young lad, and it still does. But man, it's so important to maintain that, because you don't realise what you've lost until it's gone, until it's too late. And when we can start providing environments that people can enjoy and that's going to help maintain that, then you go home at night, you have your gin and say, I've done something really cool for the community. So, oh, we do. I mean, I've been living in the Philippines, living in Japan, spent quite a bit of time in China, and the environments there are so different, and you don't really understand that until you've been there. But like I say, you don't understand how lucky we are. And I'm fortunate that I live in a rural lifestyle block, and I go turn on the tap and have fresh water. And you go overseas and just, you turn on the tap, oh, can I drink this water? Should I go get a bottle of bottled water? So, oh gosh, I know you quite. I just turn on the water at home and turn on the tap at home. It's just wonderful. So again, been very thankful for what we've got in our environment. Maintaining that becomes a no-brainer. So it's a really interesting thing. And it kind of takes me back to a remark that I heard from might have been Canterbury Vice Chancellor, where he was saying he was kind of putting solar down for places like Invercargill because he said it's too cold. I thought, man, you have no idea, because it's actually the lower temperature is actually better for solar. So, and I was surprised that he would be putting something down he actually had no idea of what he was talking about. And it's quite disappointing, to be fair. So the cooler temperatures actually help solar generation. You can still have a lot of cloud going over and then getting good UV to generate electricity. Yes, in winter, your hours of generation are shorter because you are working off UV light. And from our side, we go and talk to the customer and say, so what are you trying to achieve with your house? Are you looking for air conditioning? Are you looking for heating? And tell you what, when it comes to a super home, you're looking more for air conditioning than you are for heating. So we will pitch the panels up lower, to give you a better generation for summer. And that becomes more really ideal for those that are wanting to get the air conditioning, because you've got longer generation hours as well. In some ways, we almost need to be slightly scared. And more to the point, we need to be aware. And that's, I think it's quite good that people are starting to create that awareness now. And again, where we can be helping people on that journey to fulfill their dreams and help the environment. And then, yeah, what a cool job. What a cool job. Yeah. I was really fortunate recently. I was my parents actually flew me over to Fiji for a holiday. So wow. But one of the things that I went snorkeling, and I was looking at the white coral, but there wasn't so much coloured coral. And I realised the water temperature was getting higher, and that's where you start losing that. So that biodiversity that's coming through in the marine life is disappearing. So, and man, that's heartbreaking. That's really heartbreaking. So, yeah, that's something we do need to be really mindful in dealing with stuff now. I call myself a technocentric green. I've got an economics background. I've got I'm trained economist. I'm a trained landscape architect. So I'm always looking for ways that we can improve the environment by using modern techniques. Actually, one of the other things I'd say is that to me it's quite fascinating. We had the microinverter company come over and see us recently. They're probably the second largest one in the world, and they came and gave us their time, and we established a really good relationship with them. But one of the things they said was that New Zealand solar market's in its infancy. It's just about all string inverters because people don't understand the value of what microinverters can bring them. You go to Europe, 30% of the market's microinverters. Over here, it's about 1%. And to me, this is the opportunity that we have as a company, but that we can present our customers, say, actually, you've got the Rolls Royce of products sitting here now. We're ready to offer that to you, and we can support you on that journey. You're always going to get different types of people. By way of example, I went and saw someone a couple of days ago, and I said, we can help you with solar. And I talked a bit about the product, but he was actually less interested in the product. He just wanted to get solar. And said, yep, let's do it. Right then and there, let's do it. And but then you get other people who want to go into every last detail about it, which is fine, and that's great. But our job is to make sure that we educate people when they want to be educated, just help them on that journey. So, yeah.